Alright, quick update for green Satoshi token. So, we're not doing too bad on the daily, we're up 24%. You can also see green metaverse token is up 46%. So, the mother token of green Satoshi token is rallying, so I imagine this will allow green Satoshi token, obviously, to have this rally that we are seeing at this moment in time. But, are we out the water? Because a couple of days ago, I remember we were here around about the 11th of May, we were talking about, a move to the downside, a move to the upside, getting rejected, and then a move back to the downside. Obviously, we didn't necessarily play it out to the teeth, we actually came down to the next lower level, so I could expect something like this instead to play out. I still am expecting lower price targets in the crypto markets, and while Bitcoin, this chart is really what I'm looking at for my altcoins, because while Bitcoin is below 34,000, we are in capitulation mode. And especially if Bitcoin closes a weekly below 34,000, and especially if Bitcoin closes a weekly at / around 29,000, I'm still much more bullish on Bitcoin than I am on altcoins. And what we've been seeing for the past couple of days is, altcoins going down 50%, 70%, 90%, and Bitcoin's been going down like, 5%, 6%, 10%. So Bitcoin's been heavily outperforming all of these altcoins quite recently, and if we do have a trend reversal, I will want to make sure that I do flip my narrative on that and do get in before the trend, reverses major bullish on us. But at this moment in time, I'm personally not seeing it, because, and like I said, this can change at any point in time, because we are rallying at this moment in time. Even if we come over to the 1 hourly time frame, you can see we haven't necessarily topped out yet. So I don't want to say 100% we are bearish, but like I said, my trading plan is only to accumulate Bitcoin. I think if you look at the general markets, like, yeah, the altcoins are rallying today. If you don't look at the general markets, it can be very dangerous, because what you won't notice is that the US dollar is rallying, and this is why all of these altcoins have been getting decimated. Yesterday, the US dollar had a slight pullback, and this is what everyone got out of bed for. You might be thinking, I don't even look at the US dollar chart, I didn't get out of bed for that, I was getting out of bed for my altcoins. But what I'm saying is the US dollar broke down for like 12 to 18 hours, and that allowed the stock market yesterday to have one daily green candle. Look at this. This is what everyone got out of bed for. This green candle, I mean, out of this whole sea of red, I mean, you can look at it on Tesla as well. You zoom out, this is what everyone got out of bed for. So I would still be very cautious. I'm looking at the Nasdaq as well. Bitcoin loves to follow the Nasdaq, and people forget, it was only in March and April that we were having this swing back up, and everyone in their nan was bullish. Altcoins were going absolutely parabolic, and as soon as we came back down, everything got wiped out. So the general trend is still to the downside. I do like to highlight this and talk about what goes on behind the scenes of just green Satoshi token, because I feel like if I just did green Satoshi token analysis and I was like, okay, let's ignore what's going on in the dollar, let's ignore what's going on in the stock market, let's ignore what's going on in Bitcoin, we would miss out on a massive piece of information. And when you're trading these markets, I think, at least in my opinion, I would like as many opinions, as many narratives, and as many kind of caveats that can affect what is going on in the price to be laid out in front of me, so I can decide myself what is going on. We're still pretty much sitting in the previous accumulation range. I find it kind of nasty that we capitulated below where this minted on Huobi, and we are below this accumulation range. So it is what it is. We could just be bouncing up to getting rejected from this. The accumulation range doesn't end until we get up to $3.70, and then even if you do have a rally all the way up to that level, you can see we're not out of the blue until you do take out these 4-hourly EMA ribbons. So you could potentially even see a move up to $4 before we do come back down to some of these lower price targets. Like I said, best of luck if you are looking to trade altcoins right now. I'm looking at this objectively, at least on the 4-hourly time frame. You know, we're not bullish. We're clearly not bullish. We keep on coming back into these 4-hourly EMA ribbons, and every time we do, we never really manage to get out of them solidly. We just come back into them, chill out for like a day, a couple of hours or so, and then we capitulate once more. So, you know, the last time these retests happen, sometimes it takes a day, sometimes it takes 2 days, sometimes we have, you know, a consolidation, lots of wicks into the top of them, and we never make it out. So I'm looking for one of these scenarios to play out. I know I'm giving 2 scenarios, both of them are bearish, and both of them end up coming down to the lows, at least, because bottoms take time. And even if we are about to have a huge reversal for the altcoin market and the Bitcoin market within the next couple of months, these bottoms, they take a very long time to play out. I mean, let's come over to Bitcoin and look at what happened the last time, you know, Bitcoin made its bottom. We had these times where we came down and we capitulated within the EMA ribbons, and what did we do? You know, we rallied up 35%. After that, we came back down. We made a higher low. You know, I imagine people saying, "Oh, it's a higher low," and we've gone up 34%. We must be bullish. What about when we came down to 29,000 and then we had a 28% pump? A lot of people got bullish, but we did not finish until we came all the way back down to 29.3. And then, you know, you broke bullish. This is the point I'm trying to make. You weren't bullish until you made this higher high. So until we do see that higher high, or at least until we get something like this, where you've got 1, 2, 3 major bottoms, like a triple bottoming structure. I mean, quadruple if you want to consider this wick. I think this is a little bit too high up, so I'm not going to consider it. But we've only just come down for our first wick, and while technically speaking this can be the absolute bottom on the Bitcoin pair, so for example Bitcoin could do something like this, and then at each point, you know, you've got a higher high, and this would be the absolute low. When Bitcoin comes up and comes down, these altcoins are going to get decimated on the move back down, because a lot of these altcoins run on pure euphoria. And the fact that we have not seen a bear market yet, if you got in, you know, within the last year or so, if you got in within the last 2 years, you have not experienced a bear market. Because if we come over to what happened on Bitcoin, you know, a capitulation of, what was this 50 or 60%? 55%. A 55% capitulation over 3 months. That is not a bear market. I was here in 2017. It's not a bear market until you see blue chip cryptos completely capitulate and go to zero. So, you know, these bear markets, they force innovation. They force all of the projects like Green Satoshi token, Green Metaverse token, FitFi.move, all of these move to earns. They will go because they do not have innovation and they're riding a wave. So at least in my opinion, we should be very cautious, because we could be coming up for that high before we do chop back down. I would definitely not feel, you know, confident at all to be entering anything other than Bitcoin while we are in this, you know, mass capitulation moment. Even Bitcoin has not flipped its EMA ribbons yet, so just be slightly cautious. Until we have solid moves above 34,000, I would not be getting out of bed. And then even so, I would probably be accumulating Bitcoin for a prolonged period of time for the next month or two, because we've seen this before. You know, you have these big capitulation wicks, you break out, everyone thinks we're bullish because, you know, this brought us up to 41, and then we were right back down at 28 to 29 within a week or two. So be very cautious. I'm not trading altcoins. Best of luck if you are. That's all I've got for Green Satoshi token. We do have strong resistance coming in at between $3 and, let's just call it $4. So between $3 and $4, there's going to be a plethora of resistance on this token, and I will be updating you if we do break bullish. Perhaps I could even consider making a trade, but I'm going to be very cautious with the altcoin trades that I do make over the next month or so, in case we are experiencing that chop to the upside before we do come back down. And I'm really not going to go macro bullish on altcoins until the dollar tops out. I feel like if you are betting on altcoins right now while the Fed is increasing the interest rates, while the dollar is going up, you are betting against the Fed, and that is a great way to kiss your money goodbye in my opinion. Could be wrong. I'm just telling you my trading plan. This is what I plan on doing. I'm in Bitcoin accumulation mode. Best of luck. Cowboy out. Peace.